In blitz, it is easier to attack when a piece down than to defend when a piece ahead. This was Mikhail Tal's comment on this wonderful game, which I'm going to share with you right now. With the white piece is playing Polish chess player Janusz Szukszta, who won Polish Junior Championship in 1950, and on the black side is the magician from Riga Mikhail Tal. This game was played in 1956 in Uppsala at the 3rd Student Team World Championship. But before starting our game, make sure that you're subscribed in order not to miss my future uploads. Szukszta, who was playing with the white pieces, opened up with d4 and Tal responded with knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6. We have king's Indian defense, against which white is choosing this aggressive Saemisch variation f3. In this line, usually white is putting his bishop on e3, is castling queenside and is launching a devastating attack on the kingside. Here Tal castled kingside, bishop e3, e5, knight e2, c6 and queen b3. Not the most popular move, usually white is playing queen d2 and after knight bd7 is either playing d5 or is castling queenside. But in our game after c6 we have a rare continuation, queen b3. E takes d4 by Tal, knight takes d4 and d5. As white king is still stuck in the center of the board, Tal wants to open up the position as soon as possible in order to target white king. C takes d5, c takes d5, e takes d5, and a very dubious move by the magician, knight c6. Tal is sacrificing his knight, but actually guys, there was no need for this move, and this move is actually a blunder. After this move, the engine gives white nearly +5 advantage. Instead, it was better to put the rook on e8, attacking the bishop on e3. But in our game after e takes d5, Tal played knight c6. This is called attack at any price, you know? White accepted the piece sacrifice, and only now we have rook e8. But as I've already mentioned, it was better to play rook e8 without playing knight c6, but the magician from Riga first decided to open up the d file and then put his rook on e8. Right now the bishop on e3 is under attack, and it was in here that white failed to find the most accurate defense and played king f2, which is a very passive move and is allowing black to gain advantage. Instead, it was better to castle queenside, and if we move like rook takes e3, then play c takes b7. I have to tell you that after rook e8, even knight c2 is playable, but as this was a blitz game, white failed to find the best continuation and instead chose this passive looking king f2 move, which is allowing black to proceed with the attack. Here Mikhail Tal landed another heavy punch, and this time he went for an exchange sacrifice. Rook takes e3 is on the board. Look at these guys. White didn't dare to accept the rook sacrifice, instead played rook d1, but this is already losing on the spot. It was better to play king takes e3, and if bishop h6 check, then king d3, and in this case white is managing to fight back and can prolong his resistance, though I have to tell you that still black has a very dangerous attack. But in our game after rook takes e3, we have rook d1. Here comes knight g4 check, another sacrifice by the magician. He's sacrificing his whole cavalry. F takes g4 and bishop takes d4. Already there are some very nasty threats like queen f6 check with a mate to follow. That's why white decided to get rid of this dangerous bishop by giving away the rook. Rook takes d4 and queen takes d4. And with this move, Tal created another threat, rook e4, discover check. For example, let's just make random moves. He takes b7, then rook e4 check is coming, and white king is getting checkmated. Queen e3 followed by rook takes g4. That's why after queen takes d4, white played queen d5, trying to neutralize black queen, but this time Tal played rook e2 check. We have a double check, right? And finally, with this move, Tal is forcing white to accept his rook sacrifice. King takes e2. Well, if we move like king g3, then simply queen takes g4 checkmate. That's why in our game we have king takes e2. And there it goes. The bishop is also joining the attack. Bishop takes g4 check. Now it's time for the rook to come, right? As you know, I love to repeat that. When you are attacking, all your pieces should join the attack. And the last piece is also joining the party. Rook e8 check. Bishop e2. And there it goes, guys. Rook takes e2. Tal is sacrificing his second rook. To be honest, guys, I have already forgot how many sacrifices we saw in this majestic game. It was in here that white resigned, because if you play a move like king f1, then queen f2 checkmate is coming, and if a move like knight takes e2, then your queen is no longer protected. Black can win it, and again this is going to be an easy win for black. Just a majestic attack by the magician from Riga. That knight sacrifice was actually a mistake, but white failed to find the adequate defense and quickly lost the game. As I quoted Tal's words in the beginning of the video, in blitz it is easier to attack when a piece down than to defend when a piece ahead. In the end, let's also solve a chess puzzle where the task is to find the mating line for white. It's white to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.